Welcome guys to a brand new series, Plug in India EV Issue Tracker. Now what's been happening over the years is that Plug in India, we've been receiving a lot of comments over WhatsApp, on Twitter, on our YouTube comments, EV owners having problems, having issues. And we've been helping out the best we can all these years. We've been getting in touch with dealerships, with OEMs, with whatever other contacts we have. If somebody else on the group has solved that issue, we want to give them the solution. So we've been doing all this behind the scenes. It's not visible to most of you, and that's what we've realized. That's what we want to do in this issue tracker video. We want to share these experiences with you. So how are we going to track these issues? How are we going to bring these to you? So what's going to be happening is Plug in India, most of you may not be aware, has a forums where you can write in, you can email, and all the conversation is archived for posterity. This is a permanent repository where such information can form a knowledge base which can be really useful to the community. So this is what we are going to use. We are going to start using Plug in India forums. What we will do is every week the Plug in India team is going to sit down and pick up the issues that have been submitted on the forums or from our various other social media platforms or any other way in which information comes to us. We'll be putting down the points that they've sent. We'll be putting down some photos or videos that have been sent and documenting any solutions that have been given. So what we'll be doing is once a week on Tuesdays, the Plug in India team will be publishing a video, and this video will bring awareness to the community about the various issues that have been faced by other EV owners. So what is our objective with this? Why is this important? Basically, our idea is to raise awareness among the community, among EV owners about the various issues that are faced while using EVs. The second thing is we want to document these issues so that they are saved and archived for posterity, so that later on someone might want to understand what happened with that EV or with that particular problem. They can go back, look at it, see the videos, maybe get in touch with those people and figure out what's happening. The third point is we want to raise awareness about which brands are good as far as after sales service are concerned and which brands are not that good. So the idea here is to really hold EV companies accountable. We also want to galvanize the EV community to help each other if the OEMs are not doing it. And finally, we want that the community should make informed decisions about which EVs they purchased based on what they are seeing here. So let's look at the first issue of the week. We have Hero Electric Optima from Pune. This is a double battery scooter and the user has used it for 3 months and already used it for 1400 kilometers. Now the problem with this scooter is that there is a relay which you switch when the first battery gets discharged and you want to start using the second battery, and this relay is a bad quality one, and as a result the user gets stranded halfway. So there is a dealership called Sharanya Motors in Pune and they have a very robust solution for this. So what the dealer has done over here is he has replaced the flimsy quality relay by a good quality Chint MCB, and this is a much sturdier solution than the one which was previously there. Now this is a very commonly used relay. Every double battery scooter owner is going to probably be using this almost every ride because that's why he's got 2 batteries, he wants the extra range. So this is a really good solution for a very commonly occurring problem in Hero Electric Optima double battery. Other than that, the dealer also found that the connectors were not of good quality, so he replaced those and he put some extra sleeving in for some electrical isolation, and that way he has made sure that the customer gets a much better quality scooter than what he had originally purchased. So the link to this particular issue has been given in the description below, and as far as we are concerned, the status of this issue is closed. So the dealer has also added his own comment on the bottom of this issue where you can find his contact numbers and also avail of the same solution. Here the second EV owner issue, we've got Mr. Swaroop from Mumbai who has a pure EV e-Pluto 7G. He owns this for the past 7 months, has driven 1400 kilometers and has 4 issues. The headlight button is not working, the horn button is not working, the switch from parking to drive mode is not working, and there is a beeping noise from the indicators while riding in rain. So what did the owner try? Nothing. He went to the dealer and the dealer was able to solve 3 of the 4 issues. First of all, the headlight switch was changed at a cost of 60 rupees, the horn switch was changed at the cost of 60 rupees. for the drive to park mode, they had to change the DC to DC converter. Now what has happened is that by default this converter is face up. What the dealer has now done is put it face down so that the wires are now below, and as a result water does not seep into it. Final issue with the indicator lights beeping while riding in rain has not been solved, and they are still looking for a solution for this. So there's another comment from another ePluto 7G customer who has faced the similar problem as the problem number 4, which is the beeping from the indicator lights, and he also has it during the same time because he is riding in the monsoons and in the rains. We have also received a comment from Pure EV, and they say that this is because of water stagnation or water filling up inside the indicators, and their solution is that they should use high pressure air to remove any moisture or water from the indicator. They also recommend regular maintenance checks where even the owner himself can apply WD-40 on the contacts so that this problem does not occur. And they are sharing this tip with all the owners and dealers so that they can pass on the information to the owners, and so they can take care of their vehicles on their own as well. The forum link for this issue has been given in the description below. So the status of this issue, 3 or 4 problems have been solved. It's 75% closed, but it's still 25% open. Alright, so our third issue is about a Tata Nexon EV from Mr. Sehul Shah in Mumbai. He's going in for the second service, and at this point what's happening is his car's lights are dancing all around. You can take a look at the link we've given below to our forums. There's a video in there which shows you the exact problem. Now the workshop kept the car for 15 days and is still not able to solve the problem. The owner is really in a very bad mood, obviously, and he feels he's been given a defective car. So also the batteries fall suddenly from 50 to 25% SOC within a few seconds, and this has happened for the second time, and he doesn't know what to do about it. The solution that the owner has found himself, there is no solution that he could find himself. He went to the dealer. The dealer has also not been able to solve the issue. I mean, the workshop actually has not been able to solve the issue, and the situation is, the status of the problem is it remains open. There's a note that you will find over there from the owner which says that he's not at all satisfied because Tata Motors replaced the pack with a refurbished pack, and again that pack had problems. He says that Tata Motors should have given him a brand new pack or a brand new car, or they should just refund him his money back. So this is actually disappointing service from Tata Motors. I think they should be upfront enough to actually change his car or change his entire pack with a brand new pack. The owner also feels that Tata Motors workshop drove around the car for 400 kilometers and then charged him 1700 for the service. I think that's valid because unless they were to drive it, they would not know if the solution has been found. So probably they did a lot of testing on it and still were not able to find a solution. 1700 for the brake oil, I think that's reasonable. That's what's charged by other cars as well. But overall, this battery pack problem, dancing lights problem, he says the dancing lights problem has temporarily been solved, but the battery pack problem is still there, and which is of course a major issue. So the link to this problem is given in the description below, and the status is open. So friends, in the coming weeks, we'll be tracking the status of this particular issue. We'll be reporting it in the forums itself. So please go there and check out what's happening. If you have some information that you think can help Sehul, go ahead and post it over there. If you want to take part in the discussion, try and figure out what's going on, go ahead and participate on the forums. So our fourth issue today is a battery LOEV scooter from Pune, and the problem is that while driving the scooter, suddenly it stopped dead and stopped working. The owner admits that there were 3 people riding this low speed electric scooter, and possibly that's why the motor could have burned out. And the dealer, even though it was clearly the owner's fault, for total status of this issue is closed. The link to this particular issue is given in the description below. So guys, this is a warning. Please don't overload your low speed electric scooters. They are not meant for heavy loads. Please add in the comments below if any of you have done that. What is your experience been with overloading electric vehicle, electric scooter? Type it in the comments below. So guys, finally, fifth issue, and this is by an Okinawa Ridge owner, and he's been riding this Okinawa for the past 3+ years, and he has had a terrible time with it. Basically, the issue is that it was marketed as a 120 kilometer scooter. He has never got the range. Originally, he got 97 kilometers. The battery would take very long to charge. He got it changed. The range went down to 50. He changed the battery 4 times, and the dealer also got fed up. Finally, the warranty got over, and he still has that same low range problem. And he's fed up with Okinawa. He says the parts are of bad quality. The build quality is atrocious. He's not happy with the service. So basically, you can go ahead and take a look at the actual issue on the forums. The link is given in the description below. There's quite a lot of things that happened with Pratik. So we've got another comment from Sachin More, who's also an Okinawa Ridge Plus owner, 2018 November, and he's also been having similar range issues. He's an electrical engineer, and he said that he was aware that there will be a difference between the promised range and the actual real world range, and he blames himself for this issue. But I would say that this is definitely Okinawa's fault. They should not be doing wrong marketing and giving wrong specifications. It's a big disappointment. He says that he doesn't have any other issues, but this in itself is a major issue. Alright, so guys, as I said before, the link to this issue is in the description below. The status is open. So guys, these days Okinawa has much improved. It's not doing the kind of outlandish marketing it was doing before, but these guys have been fooled by that marketing. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Sachin here is an engineer. He's been riding this for 29,000 plus kilometers. He's basically okay with the scooter. The only thing is he's sad that he got fooled by the company by their marketing gimmicks. So friends, thanks for watching till the end. This is how our issue tracker episodes are going to be. Please start using our forums. There are many categories there. If you go to the forums, you'll find that we've started listing different types of categories of different vehicles, different issues, different aspects of electric vehicle ownership. And if you feel that something that you want to talk about is not already there, feel free to create a new thread and add to this repository of knowledge for all EV users to enrich all our lives. So go ahead guys, use our forums to your advantage. And guys, when you're doing your issues, please remember to use this format. First mention your name, how long you've had your EV, then go ahead and mention your issue and then the specifics of the issue, giving pictures, videos, whatever is there that you have. And then you can say the solution that you tried yourself, and then a solution that was given to you by the dealer or the workshop. And finally, let us know what the status of your issue is, whether it's open or closed. As the issue progresses, we'll put updates over here. You should go ahead and put your updates as well. If you need help, let us know. We'll see if we can get you in touch with dealers or OEMs or other workshops, or maybe some solution from some community member who's had a similar issue. So thank you guys for watching. This is the first episode of the EV Owner Issue Tracker, and do let us know how you liked it and any comments or suggestions on improving. Alright guys, see you next week. Goodbye until then.